My cat Freddie loves to be brushed and cuddled. But stirring up his cat allergens meant sneezing and itchy eyes. Then I found Purina One Live Clear. It's cat food that reduced the major allergen and my suffering in as little as 21 days. Now, we feel closer than ever. If you have issues with cat allergens, you really need to try Purina One Live Clear.
Try new Purina One Live Clear today. Purina One, a difference from day one.
It's almost Mother's Day, and you can now get anything you need delivered with Uber Eats. Well, almost anything. So no, you can't order a relaxing shower, but some beautiful flowers, you bet we deliver those. A bird bath? No. A bath bomb? Absolutely. It's no to a chocolate lab, but yes to some chocolate truffles. So whether it's a last-minute gift for Mother's Day, fresh groceries, or food from your favorite restaurants, get it delivered today with Uber Eats. Order now. Product availability varies by region. See app for details.
This show is part of the HeadStuff podcast network.
Lovely stuff.
Hello, and you're very welcome to another episode.
Very, very welcome.
Of the lovely show.
The lovely show.
My name's Kevin McGahern.
And I'm Justine Stafford, and I am very fucking happy right now.
Why?
Because Meath bet Dublin at the weekend for the first time in 15 years.
Oh my God, that is correct.
In the Leinster Championship.
Meath, the little county that could
Royal County.
bet Dublin, the behemoth
the absolute
of Irish football.
Yeah.
Who have more resources, more money.
They're like the GA on steroids.
More players than any other county.
Yeah. And we
Meath,
came back fighting. We came in swinging. They never got
Meath
ahead.
train with a turnip.
They do.
They
do.
have
That's
no
their
money.
manager.
They have, like a lot of Midlands County, very little money.
Very
little players. Everyone's left.
Everyone's gone
Everyone's
off.
in Dublin or Canada or somewhere.
Yeah.
Huge
day.
Is this a worrying sign? Because I took it to be good, to be like a sign of the apocalypse.
Okay.
Like in some scripture, it's written, when Meath beats Dublin, that's the beginning
of the end.
A man on a white horse. Well, you probably need to update it. A man on a white
Scooter.
moped, will be seen. And that's a sign of the end of the times. Gwyneth Paltrow's eating carbs again.
Yeah.
And cheese. Liverpool won as well.
They won the
last
league.
Shall be first, and the first shall be last.
I think
Batten
it's about
down the hatches, folks. The end times are here.
It's about time. I want a world of opposites. This is amazing. And it was unreal because I was watching it.
Been chased by cats.
Yeah. Suddenly I like cats. That's when I know fucking things.
Tell me
have
this.
changed.
Where did you watch the match?
Well, now, I was on the travelling up to Dublin. So I was listening to it on LMFM, Loudmead Radio, how are you? And my heart was in my mouth. And then I got back up in time. Here's the thing. Meath ran away with it in the first half. Fucking ran away with it. They had 6 points on the scoreboard and Dublin still had nothing.
What?
Yeah, it was insane. And then it just kept going up and up. It's like 15 points to 6, I think, at the end of the first half. I could be.
What has happened to
off
Dublin?
there. What happened, right? So, first half, wind was in their favour, right? So we had to get
First of all, I don't want a blow-by-blow account of the match.
I'm just saying, in the
this
first
isn't
half.
off the ball.
Yeah, if you're tuning in now, you might be confused, but no, you're in the right show. First half, the wind was in our favour, right? So we had to get the score up, and you needed that up because coming into the second half then, I got back up to Dublin at that point, so I was running in to try and see it. And I thought, they're going to come back here. And they did, but they never even got ahead of us. It was unbelievable. I don't know.
Now, there was reports of people in Meath doing a strange sort of Native American style rain dances.
Sacrificing a turnip.
To make the wind blow in their favour.
Here's the thing that people are also surmising. It wasn't in Croke Park. Dublin weren't on their home ground.
They were confused.
They were fucking out of place.
Where are we?
Yeah.
I don't know where we are. Which way did we kick the ball? I'm very confused.
Yeah.
Where's Hill 16? We have you now, bye.
I honestly think, but the general consensus has been in the that it's better taking games out of Croker, that the atmosphere was better and everything really
Chips
helped.
are cheaper, probably.
Chips are absolutely cheap.
Parking
Pints.
is a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
There's a disregard
Absolute
for rules.
abandonment of
cars.
Yeah.
When you're at a match outside of Dublin, you can fucking park on a garden.
Absolutely.
Nobody gives a shit.
No, we love to see it.
But in Dublin, they're very strict on parking.
Very, and you'll be clamped and charged.
You'll be clamped. If any amount of clamps up there.
Never
in
mind
Dublin.
buying the ticket for a Croker. The price of the parking might bankrupt you.
Have you any mates who cut off clamps?
No.
I have a couple.
You have a few.
I have a few mates
Right,
now.
I'll get a few numbers after.
A lot of them work like in building or plumbers or something like that.
Yeah, lovely. They
And,
have the equipment.
they're like, Mac, they can't do a fucking thing. I fucking cut the bastard of yoke off. And I don't think they've been caught.
That's the thing. I'm always like, what do you do with it then? Do you dispose of it?
Leave it on the fucking road.
But then they are going to know, if they ever come back to check, I don't know what the procedures is for a clamper, to see, right, well, that was that lad with that reg.
Look, I'm not endorsing it.
No.
I'm not saying this is I'm just saying I know
Fair play
lads
to them.
who regularly cut off
Yeah,
clamps.
fuck you. I won't do what you tell me. I fucking won't do what you
Rage
tell me.
against the Garda machine or the clamping machine.
Machine. But so Louth also won. So this is why it's monumental, because Louth bet Kildare, and we are having a repeat of the 2010 final, Leinster final, where Joe Sheridan famously rugby tackled the ball across the line and made a questionable decision by the ref, won, and maybe should not have won. So Louth are coming back for vengeance, and I don't blame them.
This was like a Thierry Henry handling the ball kind of situation.
Yes,
Yeah.
entirely that in the GA comparison. I still have grass from Crow Park from the pitch that day in a little jar at home.
What?
Yeah.
Can I get onto the pitch? I want to get some grass. You're the only one who goes up to Dublin to get grass. That's
grass.
not hallucinogenic.
So, now it's an absolute disgrace. The price of tickets for Croker now for the Leinster final. Ticket price in the GA are a fucking disgrace anyway, because they're not getting paid. Where's that money
I was
going?
going to say, you have to pay the players so much, don't you?
Yeah, exactly. They're on
The
such
money has
high
to go.
fees.
The money has to come from somewhere.
It's atrocious. But anyway, I'm going to try and go. I'm flying to London the next day, so I'm going to try to go to Croker the day before, and hopefully... Look, either way, it'll be a rough flight.
What do you bring to Croker in terms of refreshments or food?
Now, if we're going back to the day, my family famously used to fill a shoebox with a flask, Kit Kats, and ham sandwiches wrapped in tin foil.
A roast chicken.
And the bachelor's handbag.
Just a big shoe full of stew.
Yeah, completely.
Your father would eat with a big thick straw.
You'd eat the shoe and all, actually.
Does anyone ever bring drink to Croker?
See, I've never done that. But see, because it's the atmosphere of the day, you have to go to the pub beside it and have a few, and
it gives you
people
that thirst.
swarming
Yeah,
onto
it
the
gives you a
street.
thirst for the pub. Then
Yeah,
I'm delighted for me.
I'm delighted for Louth as well.
And delighted for Loud as well.
I'm delighted for the pair of
And
them.
fair play to Liverpool as well.
A fair
It's
play.
all the people who have stuck by their teams through thick and thin have finally been rewarded.
Now, Liverpool won the league in 2020, but the thing is that they never had their moment because it was COVID. So there was never any huge, parade around Liverpool with the trophy. People didn't get to go out to the pubs and celebrate. But the thing that I was shocked by, I was in the Camden on a fucking...
I'd nearly throw the game.
Camden
If
Street.
it was COVID, I'd be like, fuck this, I'm not winning. I'll win the next one.
Yeah, it seems like a bit of a waste. Did it even really happen? But I was in the Camden and Meath had just won. I genuinely was crying. But everyone was a sea of Liverpool jerseys and then me in a Meath jersey. And I couldn't get over it that it was all for fucking Liverpool. Now, fair play to them, and I would. If I had to support a team, it would be
But there
Liverpool.
was nobody there for me.
No one's there for Meath. And then I just kept shouting, come on, Meath. But then it was loud, so I wonder, did they even hear the ATH that I was saying?
Loud.
Come on, me, I think is what they
Oh,
heard.
yeah.
That's what I was getting at.
Well,
But
the weather right now is gorgeous.
it is.
It's the hottest hottest recorded day in April in 40 years or
Global
something.
warming is real, Kevin.
We're getting some nice weather. I mean, global warming obviously bad for countries around the middle of the world, but in Ireland things could be looking up.
Things are looking
I'm
up
telling you something.
for now.
Yeah.
Until, isn't it? Definitely done reports that Cork will be underwater first.
Well, I mean, I'm sure we have listeners in Cork, but
Yeah. But if
He's had a good run. He's had a good run.
I'm not talking in our lifetime. I'm talking, years and years. I think Cork and weirdly Dublin are the first two that they
On the sea,
estimate.
they're all on the sea, I suppose.
Yeah.
Cavan and Meath, man, we're going to be all right, baby.
Right.
Beachfront property.
I'm telling you, the world, things are fucking turning.
Things are turning.
This
Things
is
are
the
turning up
beginning of it.
Millhouse.
Yeah, everything's turning up Millhouse.
For some reason, I remember in school, we're reading an English story in junior cert or below, maybe second year. And we had this English teacher who was gruff enough, no nonsense sort of a chap. And he'd be reading out all the stories. And there was one story about a teacher who was bringing I think he was a Dublin teacher, bringing 4 dubs, inner city dubs, down to the countryside.
Oh, Lord, okay.
And if anyone can remember this story, please message in. But I remember one line. So he'd be reading out, and he put effort into it.
Ah.
Like he'd do the accents and everything.
Oh, wow.
And the line was, it was like, Sandra was delighted with the weather in Meath or wherever the fuck it was, and she was like, "Well, sir, we'll get a tan, will we, in this sunny weather? I'll get a tan, fanny and all." And he just he read it like that. He was like, he stopped doing the accent when he landed on the word fanny, and then he repeated. He was like, "Oh yeah, so I'm going to get myself a tan, fanny and all." And he sort of like frowned a bit, and it was shocking. It was like, oh my God, somehow we've managed to make, it was like we willed the teacher into saying the word fanny. And he was like disgusted with the story then, and he didn't do the voices for the end of it, and we got to it, and it was one of the best days of my life in school.
Did like you all break at that moment, or did anyone say anything?
No, we were kind of all in shock of like, what? Like some lads weren't listening. Some lads were half asleep, and then you hear the teacher saying fanny, and it just like electrified us all.
I used to do summer camps in Meath. I used to do that as a summer job, class job. Adored it. Best job I've ever had. But they'd bring down school groups from Dublin. And genuinely, there was a group of Dublin kids that got off, and this kid, about 8, just jumped off the bus and goes, "This is the best school tour ever!" Like, I mean, you haven't even done it yet, mate. But he was just like, but they couldn't get over cows. They were they were like, "Oh my God, a cow." And I'm like, fuck, you take for granted things that city kids don't know. But then, fucking innocence destroyed on me. This group of like 9-year-old kids, and part of the one of the challenges was like, everyone stands in a row with their legs out, and one kid has to crawl through everyone's legs in this like relay race thing.
Probably couldn't get away with that nowadays.
So this girl was doing
Father
it.
Brendan, you're not supposed to be here. I just thought I'd come down and have a bit of fun with the children.
With a water gun. It's holy water.
Come on, Father Brendan, you've been warned before.
It's holy water. Go for them. But she was crawling through, and I'm telling you, this kid was like 9. She was crawling through, and one of the other girls goes, "Nikita, do you get the smell of fish down there?" And I was like, I wouldn't have even known that genuinely till I was about 16, 17.
It's a 9-year-old.
9-year-old. And then another kid came up to me, he was like, "Oh, miss, will you add me on Snapchat? My name is Sedgy Ferguson 69. And I was like...
Sedgy Ferguson 69.
I was like, you're fucking 9.
She could have been a big Bryan Adams fan. It's a summer of 69, miss. Yeah, they were way ahead of us.
Oh,
Dublin
they
kids. Like,
truly. But even I knew that when I went into secondary school, there was kids that came from Navan even. And I was like, you guys are so much more advanced than us little rural school kids.
The metropolis of Navan.
Truly. Like, it was mind-blowing, So I love that. It was just always so interesting, the contrast of having rural kids coming versus city kids who were like, mesmerised by a cow. I was like, wow, that's...
Yeah, definitely
It made my job a lot easier because they were already excited and had the best time getting off of a bus, never mind doing an activity.
Yeah, you lose the lustre of looking at a cow probably age 6.
Yeah. But you know what? I remember having cousins coming down from Dublin, and they were terrified of the cows because they didn't, obviously, because the way cows, if you go into a field, they'll all gather around you just because they're nosy, and they'll just stand staring at you. My little cousins were terrified of that, and like bawled crying, and I'm like, sure, they're just having a go at you.
As well, there's a video. I remember my friend Alan plays the saxophone, and he would go out and play saxophone for the cows. And the cows.
Oh, that's a glorious video. I
Yeah,
think I've
yeah.
seen that.
I think actually I'm mixing up a video that I
I
just
used
saw.
to play guitar out in the field and the cows would gather around.
Wow.
Yeah.
So let's just go through all the things you did as a child. You played guitar for cows. You hid a crucifix from yourself. You used to dress up your dog in a little suit and get married to him. What else?
I saw a statistic or a fucking survey research the other day. Getting married, having a dog is about the same equivalent of getting married. They now estimate it's the same feelings over your lifetime you'll experience and all this crack. And I'm like, I do. I fucking do then. Me and the dog are making it legal.
Okay, I feel like you're missing some information here.
Oh, I never read the article.
Being married is the same as having a dog in your brain. There's going to be certain things missing.
Yeah.
I mean, companionship, sure.
Yeah.
Dependency.
Yeah. But the dog can't drive.
Full sex.
Yeah,
You're not
no,
having
you're
full sex with
losing
the
a
dog.
lot of things
Yeah.
here with the dog. You're losing a lot. But I would argue that, thinking of exes I've had, I've definitely felt better with my dog. Like, as in, my dog has made me feel better than a human man has in the past.
Well, they're loyal.
They're fucking loyal. Mm-hmm. And they're happy to see you no matter what.
Would a dog eat dinner from another woman's plate?
Now, that depends on the breed, because my last dog, Laddie, I swear to Jesus he wouldn't have, because that dog would have died for me. My current dog is a human fucking bin and will eat anything, even if it's not.
He's not a human.
No.
It's a dog. It's a dog
To
bin.
the point, this is absolutely grim, but there has been times where my dog, I will find in the hall, has gone up to my room, into the bins, and taken out a sanitary pad, and is now licking it like a fucking yogurt lid.
Wow. I really, really wish you didn't say that. I really wish you didn't say that, because now that thought is in my head forever.
Oh, famously.
You wouldn't catch Scooby-Doo with that.
I'll tell you a famously bad story.
Has your dog ever eaten a very, very tall sandwich, like about 2 foot tall, in one big go?
I'd rather, obviously, that.
Is he afraid of ghosts?
The dog came down once and there was a thing hanging out of its fucking mouth, and the mom screamed, "A mouse! The dog has a mouse!" Dropped it. Wasn't it mouse?
I think I know.
You know what it was. Yeah. Yeah. So my dog is actually a disgrace.
Little cotton mouse.
A little cotton mouse, yeah. My dog's a disgrace.
That is
And
the
you know what?
dirtiest dog I've ever heard
No,
of.
but here's the thing. I was recently watching a show, and that was like but the dog eating those things was part of the storyline, that I was like, oh, this is actually a fucking thing for some breeds. And then I looked it up and I was like, oh God, this is actually common, which is disgusting.
Wow. Well, I think it's safe to say we definitely won't be using this clip on social media. This is deep cut listeners.
We can discuss this after if you want to cut it out. That's no bother. But anyway, what else does the dog eat? The dog is a bin, honest to fuck. But that's such a breed thing. Like Labradors famously are missing the part of the brain that tells them they're full, and that's the problem. They'll eat
Like
and
a
eat
goldfish.
and eat. Yeah.
Wow.
Just forgets it's eaten.
Stupid dogs.
Now, and I do, like, I look at that dog sometimes, I'm like, you are actually, like, have you no fucking sense of grace about you? Because my last dog, the rough collie, was the most elegant, beautiful thing, and would actually turn his nose up at food at times, being like, I'm full, I don't need this. My dog now would gorge on fucking dirt.
Your dog needs like a MyFitnessPal app.
Yeah, well, my brother said once, he was like, could we get like a fake magazine done with like, very model-esque looking dogs and to show it and hopefully it'd get into her
Oh, sort of like ruin the dog's self-esteem
And I was like,
with
we're
unattainable
not-
dog beauty.
I was like,
This is Gwyneth Paltrow's dog. She looks well, isn't very slim.
but then you'd need to put the dog up against a mirror because the dog doesn't know what it
Yeah,
looks
probably
like.
start barking. Who the fuck? Who's that fat cunt? Who's that fat cunt in my house? Get out of my house, you fat cunt.
Lovely stuff.
This show is part of HeadStuff Podcasts. Here's another show you might like.
Hello, everybody. She's Emma Dorn. She's Deirdre. Okay, now sorry to disturb you. We know you're listening to something else, but we wanted to tell you very quickly about
Stop
our own.
listening to that and listen to us.
after the fact.
Sorry,
keep it
when
tight.
you're finished listening
Yes.
to that, listen to us.
Yes, we'd love for you to come join us. Our podcast is called Keep It Tight.
Keep it tight.
Keep it tight. Have a look at headstuffpodcast.com or wherever you get your podcasts. People are enjoying it. Get on board.
Hilton brings you new ways to stay, with experiences that let you capture the glory days. Introducing the Graduate Hotels. Each inspired by local college towns, these stays are always original and never boring. Get in touch with traditions all across the country and enjoy a stay that's a class above the rest. Book at Graduate Hotels with Hilton Honors Points at Hilton.com. It's a win-win. Hilton, for the stay.
Llévate más de lo que esperas todos los días con el nuevo McValue en McDonald's. Ahora puedes comprar uno y sumarle otro por $1. Así que cuando tu equipo favorito enfrente a sus rivales, enfrenta tus antojos con $5 Meal Deals. Y si estás corriendo para alcanzar el desayuno, corre al app para llevarte ofertas antes del cutoff. Tú decides, y con McValue, tu decisión siempre rinde más. Precios y participación pueden variar. BOGO $1 válido para un producto de igual o menor valor. Debe estar registrado en Rewards para ofertas en el app.
Did you hear 3 Arena to close down bars during David Gray concert?
Now, is
this
that
weekend?
just, I saw that, but is that just specifically for his gig, or is this something they're going to introduce for every gig going forward?
I think it's for his gig.
Well, that's all right.
Weirdly enough, so he came out recently after an Irish gig, and he just said he was playing on April 5th, and the singer said it was absolutely mental gig. People were hammered. It was so rowdy. I don't think I've ever had an audience as rowdy as that. It was a bit out of control in a way. It's very hard to weave the subtleties and emotional context and storytelling into the show. I suppose if people are just going, hey, yeah, you go to the bar. And fucking, it's expensive enough, hey. Well, fucking, get me fucking 3 pints, we'll be here all fucking night, hey. So yeah, you don't want to hear that when you're trying to sing. Oh la la! I don't know, what does he sing?
Oh na na na. Yeah, I know the one.
No, that's July.
Oh,
that's Monday, isn't it?
No.
Babylon.
Yeah.
Bling, bling.
There's another one that I know by him.
We just had to keep our heads down and power through.
Well,
when the big song hits, everyone goes nuts. It was like SpaceX level liftoff. We got another one of these shows coming up in a few weeks, and maybe that'll be a bit more sedate. Who knows? But thank you, Dublin. So apparently people are going fucking ape shit at David Gray.
This is the thing. Like, those two, that doesn't make sense to me. Like, that's not the kind of gig I'm like, gonna get absolutely lit at this. Like, that doesn't add up in my head.
I do not want to be sober for David Gray. I want to be fucking like...
I'm coming up.
I want to be stag party, All Ireland final drunk.
What? That doesn't... And his fan base wouldn't suggest to me the type that would be in that mind frame either. That's where I'm confused. But I think there's a resurgence of some performers at the minute that people are going for nostalgia reasons, who maybe knew some aspects of some songs, and they're like, this will be fucking nostalgia central. I'll get hammered now.
I was listening to News Talk where they were talking about just kind of concerts in general getting out of hand. And same thing, people bringing in drink, people getting out of their heads and just talking the entirety of the gig. And you're like, what are you here? Is the problem social media where like you just want to go to, you want to take a photo of yourself, put it up on Instagram. This is what my life is like. I'm doing cool shit.
Yeah.
Like seeing David Gray.
Yeah.
I'm doing real cool shit. I'm doing cool as fuck shit. I'm hanging out with Rick. We're drinking mimosas and we're going to see David Gray. Or is it down, cocaine?
Okay.
I was singing Cocaine by Eric Clapton.
Oh, right. Okay.
Because cocaine, because even on pints, if you drink a lot, you don't really feel like chatting that much.
No.
But people on coke cannot shut the fuck
It's so funny
up.
because I'm so innocent in that world. I have never known.
How do you take it? Do you put it in your ear?
What do I do?
Do
Yeah.
you put it up your bum? Blondie used to blow it up her arse apparently with a spoon.
Genuinely, I've never known someone to be displaying the effects of cocaine. Only when people say to me, that lad was off his face.
Right.
And I'm like, was he? Because I just don't, I was like, that guy was very chatty.
I was just glad that somebody was talking to me.
I was like, will you give me a chewing gum? And he's like, I don't have any. I'm like, oh, okay, it just looks like a chewing it. But I've never known the symptoms of it to like, I'm so naive to that.
Okay.
Whereas if someone's hammered, I fucking know what that looks like.
Yeah, okay. So it's almost like the effects of alcohol. It's almost like the effects of being really drunk, but you're not slurring your words in any way. And they're they're just talking too much. And you're really struggling to get a word in.
Okay.
And you're like, God, I haven't said anything in 5
Do you know
minutes.
what's mad to me? Like, I have friends who would be like that. Anyway.
Chatty catties.
So I'm kind of like, again, I would be like, well, I fucking know the type of you now. You know, I wouldn't again. It's so funny. But then, yeah, you'll know the difference if that person has never taken it and you see how quiet they are, probably.
See, I was doing a gig there a couple of weeks ago, and it was normally, especially on a weekend, you might get a stag in, or you might get a hen in, or you might get a work crew in. This gig had 3 stags in, all from England.
Fuck.
3 English stags at one gig. It was like George Clooney's A Perfect Storm. They were fucking wired to the moon.
Oh, yeah.
They wouldn't shut the fuck up with the other acts. And eventually, I got lucky because I was on last. And by the time I went up, right before I went up, one of the lads, they were going out for pints the whole time. They were doing shots at halftime, which is not good.
At a comedy show.
And at a fucking comedy show.
It's a comedy. Why do they think they are? David Gray.
And right before I went on, one of the lads just stuck his head in the door, and they're like, "Oh, Liam, I got fucking sorted. I got sorted." And then Liam leapt across 4 people to leave the room, and they never came back. So thankfully, before I went on, like, one of the stags had left because they scored a bag of cocaine somewhere. But I went up, and this lad just started, I went up, and this lad just said like, "Oh, I'm not sure." And I was like, all right, listen, thank you, but this is not an interactive show. And he was like, "Oh, I was just having the crack." And I was like, God, you've got the confidence of one of those lads who slept with their teacher in secondary school. And he was like, "Oh, you got that right." And I was like, despite being homeschooled. And the audience went, "Way!" And I was like, "Now, that's just a little puck at you. That's a warning to shut the fuck up for the next 25 minutes. I'm not fucking talking shite back to you the whole time." And I was like, and by the way, whose fucking bright idea was it to bring a stag to a comedy show? It's like, all right, let's meet up with lads we haven't seen in probably 3 years. Let's get a bag of cocaine and a pile of pints and go to a room where we're not allowed to talk for 2 hours. Fucking genius.
Yeah.
Go to a fucking strip club like a normal English stag of wankers and fucking cry into a stripper's lap in a VIP area like a normal Englishman.
Oh, God.
And they shut the fuck up for the rest of my gig.
Beautiful. That's all you want. That's all you want.
So I think the David Gray, people losing their minds at gigs lately, I think it's coke. I don't think it's pints.
Yeah, I've heard a lot about it becoming more and more common. Like, it's just, it's everywhere apparently.
And apparently coke makes you drink a lot more. Your capacity for drink is a lot bigger. So people are probably seeing all the pint glasses. But I remember talking to a lad from home years ago, and he was trying to sell the cocaine to me. Not literally sell it.
Yes.
He was trying to justify it. He was like, "Oh, Matt, you have to get on the bag, man. You have to get on the bag." And I was like, I don't know. I just like every conversation I've ever had with lad and coke, I'm like, that's the biggest wanker I've ever met.
Yeah, exactly.
And he was like, "No, man, you can eat more, you can drink more." And I was like, that just sounds really expensive.
Yeah, completely. Jesus
I'm going to spend
Christ.
€100 on a bag of cocaine, and then I'm going to drink twice the amount of pints and eat twice the amount of food.
Yeah.
Now, don't get me wrong, I love a bang bang like any
as
like
much
any
as
man.
the next.
But the idea of spending like
then it'd be a bang, 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 bang.
yes,
Bang.
be too much bang.
Yeah.
The idea of spending like fucking 160 quid out as opposed to like 80 quid. Nah, fuck that.
I don't think my waistline could handle it either is the problem. That's where I'd be concerned too.
Yeah.
But you look at Christy Moore, who stopped drinking full stop at his gigs. Now, obviously, that's his own. He's a sober man
He
now.
stopped everyone drinking.
Yeah.
Did he?
I believe now maybe it's changed, but there was a period anyway where you weren't allowed to consume alcohol at his gigs. Now he's a sober man as well, so that's probably an aspect to it. But I think he had also experienced very rowdy crowds. The only thing I'll say, I can see myself drinking a pint listening to Christy Moore.
I would find it hard not to.
You know what I mean?
I think Christy Moore can be. He likes things a certain way. He doesn't like people clapping.
Really?
Yeah, I've been to gigs of his where like he'll start a song.
Yeah, because you know the way people will be like, "Oh, I know this one."
And he goes, "Oh, I know this one."
Yeah.
And Irish people are so shit at clapping.
Yeah.
As any late show audience will attest. We cannot seem to clap on the beat at all. And he's just like, "Hey, whoa! I'm going to stop the song. You need to cut that out. It's actually really distracting." And it is, because then you're going to their beat rather than your own beat. You know?
No, but because I remember
drunk people fucking love to clap.
Oh, Jesus, yeah. Can't keep them hands fucking to themselves. But I was in London in Soho and I went to the Toucan, that Irish bar, fucking class. And the first time I was ever in it.
Good pint of Guinness and Toucan.
Glorious. And the first time I ever walked into it, they were playing Christy Moore.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm home. Give me that pint. This is the best combo.
Give me that pint, I'm taking off my trousers.
And I did. I was thrown out. But I just think, I can see that. The David Gray thing, I just still can't get my head around of getting hammered at David Gray.
Imagine doing coke and listening to David Gray.
Your life has gone downhill dramatically, and I don't know what's going on.
It does sound like the lyrics of like Dad's Best Friend. Like, do a bag of coke, go to the David Gray concert and get kicked out.
It's pretty sad.
Yeah.
I just don't know where these David Gray fans are spawning from, because like he had his time. He
was big in Ireland compared to other countries.
Really?
Oh yeah.
That's mad.
We went mad for the Gray.
No, but see, even going to festivals like, EP this year, I don't even fucking, and I think I am going, but Jesus, like the last few years that I've gone, I think it's over capacity nearly. It's very crowded.
It's got too crowded, baby.
It's got too big.
Used
too
to
big
be
for
exclusive.
And very young audience now. And I to be walking around.
See lads with no shirts on.
You do.
It's awful.
And I honestly to be walking around thinking, I am too old to be here.
You're like Danny Glover in Lethal Weapon.
Completely. I just feel like
I'm getting too old for this shit.
I'm getting too old for this shit. So, other festivals then pop up where they're smaller capacity. It's gotten too big and I don't enjoy it like I used to.
Yeah.
But maybe that's because I am older as well and I don't have the energy I used to have.
Yeah, I always find it fascinating when people bring like their kids to festivals.
No, that's not on.
And like young kids. I remember like I'd like to picnic about 10 years ago. And like there was a dad, it was getting dark, it was dusky, and there was a dad and he was wheeling a child around about 4 years old, and the child had a big pair of headphones like he was trimming hedges,
yeah,
on a tractor.
Yeah.
And the child was like, "Dad, please, can we just go home?" And the dad was like, "What are you talking about? We're going to see Beck. You love Beck."
Oh my God.
It's like, remember I was playing Beck for you. You love Beck. Come on, we're going to see Beck. And I was like, the kid looks fucking miserable. And how are you enjoying yourself?
Just get a babysitter for the weekend so you can actually enjoy yourself. Because you can't let go and get loose because you can't have 19 pints because the child is there.
I can't, even bringing a kid to a restaurant is stressful.
Did you see there during the week?
Put that down.
People were complaining about the idea of child-free cafes. And people saying it's disrespectful to parents, it's disrespectful to women. That's the big ordeal here. And it's like trying to make it spaces. Now, I was looking at the argument and there was also a lot of parents in the comments saying, I have kids and I love this concept. I would love to be able to go. I'm not offended. And they were like, it's baffling to me that people would find offense with this. Just go to a place that will allow kids if you have an issue with this. And I am saying this as a parent who loves this idea.
I think it's very stressful to hear your child screaming or shouting or even just talking too loudly. But it is 10 times more annoying to hear another child.
Yeah.
Something that, like noise from something that you don't legally have to mind. Something that you're like, oh, I don't have to feed this thing. And this thing didn't come out of me. It's like, it's your own farts versus somebody else's farts, basically.
Yes.
Not to reduce children to...
No, of course.
A fart. But when a child comes out of you, in some capacity, their noises are like 70% annoying.
Yes.
But like somebody else's fart/child is toxic.
Yeah.
So I have no issue if some fucking cafe wants to go child free.
Yeah.
That's fine. If I have my kids, I won't go there.
Yeah.
If I don't have kids there, I'll be sipping mimosas with Rick.
Now there was an additional.
And then go to David Gray.
There was an additional level of it that people were annoyed about because they were allowing dogs, but not kids.
Dogs
now,
are quieter.
I was in a bar there last week and someone had brought a dog and he was in a little bag and he was absolutely gorgeous and it made my whole day and I'll never forget that dog. And I took pictures and I have them and I look at them sometimes if I'm feeling a bit sad. I'll be honest, I didn't. But I didn't post them anywhere. I'm not
sneaky little photos of a dog. Little upskirt photos of a dog.
Gorgeous dog. Okay, and the
wait till he
dog
starts licking himself.
I'll say this to you. Me and the dog made eye contact for a long time and I was smiling at him and he was safe. He wasn't against it. If the dog wasn't engaging with me, I wouldn't have taken the picture.
I think you have to ask permission of the owner.
Do you?
I think so. I don't think you can just take pictures of people's dogs, Justine.
God, I've done it before on the street.
Don't say that.
I saw a lovely Bus Éireann, the Irish setter, and I was like, look at it in the sun. Just the sun was catching his hair so gorgeously.
I feel like when all the bad people are cancelled, like all the molesters and the awful, awful celebrities, eventually they'll come for people who took photos of dogs without asking for permission. And I will distance myself.
Destroy my hard drives. Fuck.
If you think I'm going to stand by you when that shit hits the fan, you've another thing coming. I didn't know her that well. Like we honestly, we just record for an hour every week, but like I did know something off about her.
Lovely stuff.
There was controversy in Cork as the City Council decision not to open a book of condolences for Pope Francis was met with anger.
Oh no.
Cork anger. A Cork TD has slammed City Council on its decision not to open a book of condolences for the recently deceased Pope Francis.
Oh, Jesus.
Now, first of all, how would that work? So, like,
are you shipping it over then to Rome? It must be a big book.
Are you shipping the book to Rome?
Yeah.
I don't think you are.
Yeah.
I think it's just a book that stays in Cork.
Right.
It's not like you're going to fucking send it to his family.
Here's the thing. You see it at a lot of funeral homes now. They don't even have the book of condolences. You have to do it on RIP.ie and the family keeps that then as a record online.
Yeah. Well, look, he's no children.
He's no children.
He's no wife.
Yeah, no.
His parents are dead, clearly.
Who are you sending that book to?
To a nephew?
And think
to a
about
nephew?
The nephew. If you're sending that as well to Rome, think of how many books are going to be sent to them of condolences. No one's looking through that. No one's caring what someone said.
I'm just looking for whoever's taking the books for Pope Francis. We have a lovely book here full of nice words from people from Cork.
Yeah.
What do you want? who is this? This is just somebody representing Cork, and I would just have a lovely book. I'll read out some of the things. He'll be sorely missed. He was a great lad. That's from Nancy Sweeney from West Cork. Like, what is that? That's what a book of condolences is?
But here's my question.
Do you do it for like famous people, like popes and celebrities?
They do it like, say, I don't know, like you think of fucking the Queen. Was there one in London for the Queen? Everyone was leaving marmalade sandwiches. I know that much, but I don't know, was there a book?
Good news for rats. and
Paddington
wandering
Bear.
bears.
Yeah.
It's so funny that like I wasn't a fan of the Queen, but for somebody who had like a 96-year career as the head of state, and she's remembered for doing a sketch about a fucking bear. I'm gonna leave a fucking marmalade sandwich for the Queen as a mock of respect. That woman survived 2 wars.
Yeah, but you'd have to ask, did Dublin do a book of condolences?
For who? For
condolences for Pope Francis.
I don't know. So in 2005, thousands queued on the morning of Tuesday, April 5th. Oh, it wasn't Kurt Cobain's birthday. To sign books for the former Pope John Paul II.
Yeah.
In Cork. Unlike now, 2 books of condolences were available in the city, both in the Cathedral of St Mary and St Anne, but also in Cork City Hall.
And when Benny Was the one for him?
Ratzinger.
Yeah.
No, sure, he didn't die. He quit.
Oh, is right. Sorry,
Yeah.
Jesus.
So I don't know, do they send it on to...
Look at, if you are looking to leave a condolence, head on to RIP.ie and I'm sure his is in there. And you can leave a message
Because
underneath.
they started charging. I'm sure they have the money.
Snakes.
No.
Well, my issue is they're charging the funeral home directors and that's not on. So if you want to use the service, they have to pay in order to place it into RIP.ie.
They'd stick it on the bill, I imagine, wouldn't they?
That's what happens. So
Yeah.
then the family's paying for that.
Yeah.
Look, to the people of Cork, I know this is upsetting you, but I think there's something happening in Cork that should be upsetting you more, and that is the Bowron catfish. And until we get to the bottom of that case,
Until we crack
we
this
can't
case,
mourn Pope Francis because we are seeking justice and evidence
we will
in finding the culprits.
We will not acknowledge the death of Pope Francis until we find the Bowron catfisher.
And we will leave no Bowron unturned.
No, yes. I also found out today about an interesting thing. An ancient Egypt pregnancy test.
Oh, yeah.
So in ancient Egypt, to see if a woman was pregnant, she would piddle into 2 bags of grain. One of them barley and the other one wheat.
Okay.
And if something grew out of it, she was pregnant. If the barley, if something grew out first out of the barley, it was a boy. And if it grew out of the wheat, it was a girl.
And how long are we talking to find those results?
Oh, a couple of days.
Right, okay,
Yeah,
that's not too bad. I saw a woman there talking, she was asking the people's opinion, should I feel bad that she threw out her pregnancy test? Because basically she was pregnant with her husband.
Mm-hmm.
But the mother-in-law, for some unknown reason, really wanted to keep it as a memento. And she
Something
said,
for the book, yeah.
She said, no, I feel weird that my mother-in-law...
I feel weird about giving you a pissy stick.
Yeah. And she threw it out. And the mother-in-law is deeply upset and offended by it.
Wow.
Now, I honestly...
Is this the mother-in-law? So yeah, I'd say she has issues with her son.
I don't think she has issues with her son. I think she has issues with her daughter-in-law.
I think if you're that level of I feel the need to preserve every little moment.
Yeah.
You probably hugged your son too much.
Okay, or not enough. And you're trying to make up for it now.
I think it was too much hugging. I think he's a bit of a mammy's boy. If your mother has the balls to say that to your wife, then I think you're probably a bit of a mammy's boy.
Come here to me though. If my mother sat me down now next week and said, right, it's about time I showed you your life. And she pulled out the stick she pissed on.
What does this fucking book smell?
What's the smell going on in here?
It smells like ammonia.
I would be horrified. I don't want that as a record.
Also, it's a chunky thing.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be able to close the book right. You wouldn't be able to put it on a shelf.
You'd have to put it in a big glass frame. And that's horrific looking.
Yeah. Like it was some sort of movie memorabilia.
Yeah, and look, I mightn't have been hydrated the day I fucking took that test, so...
Yeah, you're usually not.
I'm usually not. And you'd want a double glazed glass on it, is all I'm saying. I don't think anyone wants
be
that.
Atmospherically pressurised.
That's an insane... Did you keep the pregnancy tests?
No.
Why the fuck would you do that?
I don't think we kept anything that we pissed on in our house.
Yeah.
As a rule. If you piss on it, it's getting out.
Think of that woman in Egypt. Did she eat the grain after all that?
No. What you keep is a little photo of the baby in the belly.
Yeah.
From the X-ray machine.
That's the job.
That it fits into a book nicely.
Yeah.
It's not a pissy plastic piss powder.
Yeah. I just don't know why you'd want to keep that as a memento. Now, if you hated your mother-in-law, I actually think she should have given it to her and be like, here, have my piss. You old witch. You know, she missed a trick there, I think.
There's the thing. It's never good. You mentioned a witch. It's never good to give anybody something that's directly related to your body, like hair or skin, toenails, piss samples.
Voodoo going on.
You get some voodoo shit going on there. Maybe the woman was a witch.
Yeah. Well, if anyone...
A witch of a woman.
A witch of a woman. But if anyone does have my voodoo doll, please finger it. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I think that's all we have time for this week. Any news for us, Justine?
Look, I'm living for Sunday week.
What Sunday week?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, the Leinster final.
Well, the best of Best
Thank
of
you.
Irish luck.
And
to
I'm in the
Meath.
middle of rehearsals now. We're doing 3 weeks of a play in London from May 12th in Pleasance Theatre. It's called The Last Incel. It's a dark comedy about incels, and it is going to be brilliant. We've done new dances for it, whole new restaging. It's going to be class.
Big news.
Big news.
And hopefully with that show Adolescence, there's even
totally.
more interest in the old incels.
That's exactly it.
And is it a musical?
No, there's just dance
There's dancing in it.
scenes in it, yeah. But they're moving dance scenes.
Oh, very good. Yeah. Well, if you're a London person, go see The Last Incel. When?
Pleasance Theatre from May 12th to June 1st.
You'll see Justine live in person.
You will.
Pretending.
Acting.
That's what it's actually officially
pretending. I'm a pretender.
You have been lovely. If you want to contact the show, do so at thelovelyshow.podcast@gmail.com.
Yes, and we have had a lot of people DMing, suggesting other names and things and saying they prefer this to that. So we're still we're still finding what name we're going to go with.
I kind of do like...
Bean jockeys.
Bean. It wasn't bean jockeys. It was the other one. Home jobbers. Did have a message from somebody just saying, this is from Riona Bain. Can you tell that Justine staff one to stop putting down her looks on the podcast? I've been told by a few people I look like her.
Oh.
So I think her
Can I see a picture of her?
Her methods are half selfish.
Oh, God.
She's a good looking girl.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah. So people have told her that she looks like you.
Me. Oh my
and
God,
you're slagging yourself off.
I'm so sorry.
And you're slagging her off as well.
That lovely woman has gorgeous blue eyes.
Gorgeous blue eyes.
So you say that to people, you say, no, I don't look like her because my eyes are blue.
Mm-hmm. Justine's eyes are a dark brown. Yeah. Boggy brown.
Yeah, turf.
Like a wet dog.
They're amber, actually, I think.
Are they?
That's the technical colour. But yeah.
So
I'm very sorry to that lady, and I will try my best.
There you go. That's all she can do.
All you can do.
Thank you very much, folks. We'll see you again next time.
Good luck.
This show is part of the HeadStuff Podcast Network, a hub for the creative and the curious. Shows are produced in association with HeadStuff and the Podcast Studios Dublin. Find out more or become a member at headstuffpodcasts.com.